So it has been 5 months since Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has been unleashed to our hands, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all, Sparking Zero could have been so much better, and the hype for Sparking Zero just kind of died down. Now, I really wish I wasn't like in this position where I have to say that Sparking Zero, one of the most hyped Dragon Ball games in recent memory, where nobody even talks about it. No one is as happy about the game anymore. No one is really making like that big of like videos, TikToks, like, edits of this game. When it first came out, it just had so much hype built around it. I mean, dude, there were people even saying that they left their entire wives just so that they could play Dragon Ball Sparking Zero and become a full-time Sparking Zero pro player, which I really do want to know where those people are now. Now, when I first played Sparking Zero, I had a really great time with it. I thought it was really freaking fun. There was a lot of content to keep me going for at least a week. And let me tell you, when I played during that week, I had a lot of fun. I was having fun playing the single player. I was having a lot of fun playing online with friends and not randoms who only pick fusions. I was really having fun with all the characters that they presented during launch. I was really having fun with that. And notice how I'm saying this. I was having fun in the first week when the game came out. Now, after the whole honeymoon period basically ended for Sparking Zero, right? I just wasn't having the greatest time. Now, I saw this very quickly that the community behind this game is really whiny and just doesn't really understand what the fuck they're talking about. Like, I was really much in the believer that if a modern Dragon Ball Budokai Tenkaichi game came out in the modern day, that it would be treated very differently and it wouldn't be the same, because Budokai Tenkaichi came out at a time where games came out like how they were and that's it. If you bought a game from like 2005 on the PS2, that game stayed the same forever. There was no updates, there was no DLCs, there was nothing that the developer could change it after the fact, besides probably a like director's cut version released later. But Sparking Zero, right, came out during a time where anime games can be highly monetized, and just video games in general can be monetized with updates and can be stalled through DLC to make sure to maximize profits. Now, the gameplay in Sparking Zero, I quickly realized that it was just this could get old pretty fast, because every time I played the online ranked modes, it was always filled with these people that felt really entitled that if they did not win a single match, if they didn't like your playstyle, if they didn't like what characters you were using, that they would just rage quit. There was a huge rage quit epidemic when the first month when the game came out, and it was a really huge issue. It was a really huge issue, and it was not just the rage quit too. Some characters were just flat out busted, like the androids and the giants. Like, these characters were just not fun to play against, and it made like the gameplay design really dated, right? And also, Yajirobe was actually nerfed in the first week. And to me, that's just insane, because if you play the older Tenkaichi games, they were unbalanced as hell. It was unbalanced as hell, but it was like fun unbalanced, right? But Sparking Zero, right, it's different because this is a modern Dragon Ball game that is releasing in modern times. If you're gonna have Yajirobe be busted against people who only think that they should be winning against Gogeta, like who should be only winning with Gogeta, some people are gonna be pissed and complaining about like fucking developers of the game. Like, hey, Yajirobe shouldn't beat my ass while I'm fucking playing as Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. Community just fucking sucked. Like, dude, can we just get this straight out of the way? I didn't like anybody who played this game. I didn't like any single content creator who spoke about this game, because I feel like everybody has different opinions of what the game should be. When, in my personal opinion, I think the game, you should only take it at face value and just admit that it was just solely a party game. And anybody who thought that this was going to be like the next big competitive game, I honestly don't know what kind of crack you were smoking that day. Dragon Ball FighterZ will always be the definitive competitive fighting game for Dragon Ball in my eyes. Sparking Zero is a fun party-based game that you can play with your buddies, and that's just pretty much how you want to take it. I mean, that's just pretty much how I always saw the game, even before it came out. Like, I was hyped for this game. I was really hyped. Like, I was in with all the hype. I was in all for the ride. But I just kind of find it funny that people were thought that this game was gonna save gaming, and that like there was gonna be whole like people were gonna start like having like careers off of this game. Which I know there'll be some people that maybe do have that maybe that have that going on right now, but I have not seen any Sparking Zero creators play the game even now. I mean, most of them have moved on to bigger things like Marvel Rivals. I seen a couple of ones move on to Marvel Rivals content, which is honestly, you know what? Do your thing, homie. Do you want to think? Do whatever want to pays the bills. But yeah, the community for this game just fucking sucked. There was like legitimately there was no agreements. And it was just always just filled with just constant, just like bad mouthing between each other. It was on par with like Dead by Daylight. It was literally on par with that fucking community. And that says a lot. Why are they releasing DLC like so freaking late into development? Like, why are they releasing the DLC so late? Like, the superhero DLC should have come out a month after the game came out. It should not have been a thing where it should have come out like when it came out, like last month. Like that to me just says like. Like, I know game development takes a lot of time. I mean, if I were to develop Sparking Zero, it probably would take me like 50 years to make it. But I know development times take a long time, but it just doesn't make any sense that the Gohan DLC and the superhero stuff came out way after the game came out. And let me tell you, right, I played Sparking Zero a couple of matches before I started recording this video, and honestly, after all like the patches and updates it did to some certain characters, you know, to make the game a lot more like casual or maybe competitive friendly, we should say, right? It honestly still kind of feels the same. I won't even lie to you. Like I saw that they nerfed like how like suit like vanishes and also some like movesets, which is cool and all, but I mean, I just don't realize like why like they have to make it be like this when in reality they could have just I don't know, man. I just think it's a little like I don't know. Yeah, even when I still play online matches with this game, it is just so highly boring, dude. There is like no variety like with the you know how people play these games. There's just no variety. I mean, it's not even about the player too. It's also just like the characters, like what they do with the characters too. Like every character fundamentally just stays as you know, they kind of play the same, but I mean, I know that was with Budokai Tenkaichi too. I mean, let's not be a hypocrite here. But listen, man, I'm having a lot more fun with the Budokai Tenkaichi 4 PS2 mod than I was having fun playing Sparking Zero current day. Because I really did think that I was gonna make some really good videos with Sparking Zero, and I did a couple of things where I did some challenges where I had to like play in ranked match as Hercule, and that was probably the funnest thing like I did in that game. And also having to beat people with Babidi against the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Now that was probably one of the best moments of me playing that game, but those memories of that game are just now gone. They're now gone, and Sparking Zero is just, it's as stale as ever, and not a lot of people are playing it currently. I mean, as of right now, as I'm looking at it, it seems like not a lot of people are playing it, and that's a really huge drop in player base. But I know that's very normal, especially against, you know, at the end of the day, Dragon Ball is an anime game that can only offer so much. It's not like this is not fucking like Fortnite where they can just fucking like make like horror games inside Sparking Zero. Like I know you can do what ifs, like your own what ifs, but it's not really the same. It's really limited to. There was just a lot of things that I don't know, that I personally got disappointed with this. It makes me feel sometimes that maybe my purchase of like the deluxe edition maybe was not really all that worth it, especially if the content that's coming out with it is just taking a very long time. I mean, we still even haven't gotten any gameplay of like what the Dragon Ball Dynamite DLC is going to be like, or any future DLCs, or what the current roadmap for this game is, right? And it really sucks because I just really loved this game, and I feel like I really didn't get my money's worth in the meanwhile, but I think I got my money's worth during the first week period, but not in the overall, in the general scheme of things. I don't really think I really did get my money's worth. And it just kind of felt more like a waste of time when I could just be playing a game that, you know, actually could like make me feel happy about playing it and not feel fucking miserable playing every like ranked match, right? Because at the end of the day, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is also an online game, so you know it is just another thing that you gotta have to mention. Like I even heard people saying that if they had a time machine, they would literally go back in time to the time where like they were about to purchase Sparking Zero, and they would just stop themselves from buying the game. Like it's that extreme to like where people are kind of regretting their purchase. It's just not me. People are regretting their purchase about Sparking Zero. Like we're having like post nut clarity towards this game, and it's just sad that we even have to even disclose it. It's just a really sad thing to think about, because it's just like, wow, this was one of the most hyped games. Like this is one of the most hyped anime games in a while. In my personal opinion, what did I expect from this game? Well, I expected a good Dragon Ball game. I did get that. It is a good game at the end of the day. I don't think Sparking Zero is a bad game. I truly do think, like, as I said before, as I said earlier, I had fun. That means I thought the game was good at a surface value. But what I did not get, though, was a somewhat functioning online mode, but very little content to keep the player engaged within this game. There's not a lot. And I've seen that they're adding like a legendary warrior face-off, and honestly, it's not even that good. Like, man, this game could have used so much content, especially with the early Budokai Tenkaichi games. Like, they had some content. They had content, but I mean, I personally don't know, man. Sparking Zero is just a dry ass game. Like, dude, this game is like drier than my grandma's fucking like pussy. Like that's just literally what it is. I still think that Sparking Zero is a fun time, especially like if you're just playing it for the first time and you just don't expect a lot from it. I still think it's a good game. It's a good Dragon Ball game. I still think that, but I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm not saying it's a bad game. I just think that overall Sparking Zero as a whole just kind of did not live up to the hype. And that's basically how I can describe it. But yeah, anyways, you guys, have yourselves a damn fucking good one. And peace out, y'all.